joining us here on Time Sound. Communicate with you, and I'm Kilanga today. Back with your newspapers, the ones that you might be missing because of national lockdown. And today the big vacation on lockdown 4.0 is going to be out. So let's bring you what's there on the front page of the Times of India today. And there you have it. The front page has got this big story as government opens doors to greater private role in defence, power and space. That's the big story that we have for you. 50 coal blocks to be put up for bidding. The government on Saturday announced a major opening up of defence production, power, space and coal and mining sectors of private participation as part of Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's fourth set of announcements aimed at spurring investment and buffering the economy against COVID-19 shock. So how these four sectors will see greater private participation is something that has been shown in this graphic here. FDI cap in defence production now at 74%, coal, defence, civil aviation and power. Major reforms were announced in these sectors. Then on the right hand side there is a story about the migrant labourers. 26 migrant workers got killed, 36 injured in an accident in Uttar Pradesh. Trailer rams truck as driver falls asleep. This is what Faiz Siddiqui has reported, and this is yet another desperate journey that has ended in tragedy on the side of a highway. 26 sadly more migrant workers fleeing joblessness and hunger will never see home again because they lost their lives. And then we have got the news about India's COVID count, which is rising very sharply. In fact, at 4,885 new cases, we have seen biggest jump in India's COVID count so far. India saw its biggest surge in COVID-19 infections with 4,885 reported on Saturday, as Gujarat has now become the second state to add over 1,000 cases in just one day. And now total COVID cases in the country are at 90,674. The tally has crossed 90,000 mark. Moving on, there is an update about a cyclone that is there. Cyclone landfall is likely on Wednesday. 7 lakh people in Odisha may be hit. Nearly 7 lakh people living in 649 villages of coastal Odisha could be severely impacted by cyclone Amphan, which could make landfall in West Bengal on Wednesday. So that's another story that's there on the front page only. And there you have it, a picture in fact on the front page which shows how cops have got a COVID shield. East Delhi's Madhuvihar police station is the first in the city to initiate contactless policing to protect its police personnel against COVID-19. Visitors have to first dip their footwear in a disinfectant solution and go through a 20-second hand wash process, followed by thermal scanning. Plastic sheets act as barrier between the complainants and cops. So innovative measures now being implemented in this post-lockdown era, or after lockdown 3.0 gets over. This is something that we might start seeing in different places as well. Then on the front page only, there is another news. 128 prisoners. Senior jail official has tested positive in Jaipur, and 12 inmates warder in Rohini jail have also tested positive. Then here many quarantine centers in a mess. State-run quarantine centers begin to overflow. Tales of woes are spilling over of people struggling with unhygienic rooms and toilets, being treated like untouchables, fighting for food, many ultimately fleeing these centers. So this is also another news that's reported here. And you know, in the last couple of days, we have seen a few earthquakes, tremors in fact being felt in different parts of the national capital. And here Jasjeev Gandhiok has written a very interesting news. And this says that series of quakes, danger sign, experts debate. Are 4 minor earthquakes that hit Delhi within a month a sign of danger for the region? Officials at the National Centre for Seismology do not believe so, saying Delhi is unlikely to be the epicenter of a strong earthquake. The greater threat, they say, lies closer to quake-prone Himalayan regions. So here you have the comments by various experts and what should one make of these 4 earthquakes or tremors that we felt at least 4 times in the national capital in just 1 month. Then UP has withdrawn 12-hour shift order. That's another story on the front page only. 700 Tabligis leave for Tamil Nadu for special train, and cop killed 5 LET men held in Jammu and Kashmir. And lastly, India's backing Afghanistan government irks Taliban. That's another story that you can find on the front page only. We are now moving on to the Navbharat Times and let's get you what's being reported there. और यहाँ पर अगर सबसे पहली खबर की बात करें तो जो कल फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर निर्मला सीतारमन ने अनाउंसमेंट की थी, कल चौथा दिन था इकोनॉमिक मेजर्स के अनाउंसमेंट का, तो मंद होती इकोनॉमी में कोयला डाल रक्षा की कोशिश, ये पहली हेडलाइन यहाँ पर दी है नवभारत टाइम्स ने। और साथ में ये भी बताया है कि और किस किस सेक्टर को राहत मिली है, जैसे कि एयर स्पेस का बेहतर इस्तेमाल किया जाएगा, ये सिविल एविएशन सेक्टर के लिए है। प्राइवेट कंपनियां कर सकेंगी कोयला खनन, स्मार्ट होगा पावर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, डिफेंस में एफडीआई 49% से बढ़ाकर 74% कर दी गई है, स्पेस में प्राइवेट कंपनियों को मौके भी मिलेंगे। तो सारे जो डिसीजंस लिए थे उनका क्या इंपैक्ट होगा उसकी पूरी जानकारी फ्रंट पेज पर ही आपको मिलेगी। एंड देन राइट साइड पे देखें तो दिल्ली में 400 से ज्यादा कोरोना के मरीज दूसरे दिन भी ठीक हुए। तो कुछ अच्छी खबर भी हमें आज सुबह सुनने को मिली है। कहां एक तरफ इंडिया का कोरोना काउंट लगातार बढ़ता चला जा रहा है, लेकिन वहीं दिल्ली से थोड़ी सी अच्छी खबर आई है। 400 से ज्यादा जो मरीज हैं वो कोरोना के ठीक हो गए हैं। शुक्र को 473, शनि को 408 मरीज ठीक हो गए हैं। तो लगभग 2 दिन के अंदर 900 के करीब लोग जो हैं ठीक हो गए हैं, वो अच्छी खबर भी है। और साथ में नवभारत टाइम्स ने फ्रंट पेज पर यह भी लिखा है, लॉकडाउन 4 कैसा है आज पता चल जाएगा। आज अहम दिन है क्योंकि 11 बजे निर्मला सीतारमन जो फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर है वो 4th सेट ऑफ मेजर्स अनाउंस करेंगी और उसके बाद हम उम्मीद कर सकते हैं कि सरकार कुछ गाइडलाइंस जारी करे कि जो 4th लॉकडाउन होगा उसमें किस तरह के रूल्स और रेगुलेशंस होंगे। तो ये था नवभारत टाइम्स। लेट्स नाउ मूव ऑन टू द इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स एंड ऑन संडे इट इज द मैगजीन दैट वी गेट बिकॉज this is a roundup of what you can expect through the week. It has details about what happened last week and, you know, deep articles with a lot of research is something that you can find in this the Economic Times magazine on Sunday. And the front page tells us what's inside. So it's realty reset. So perhaps you can expect something about the real estate sector. Pandemic and the ensuing lockdown might have forever changed our equations with real estate. So real estate is the big focus this time on this one. And then you have the details of the key announcements that were made by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, the reforms in 8 key sectors that were announced. So you have the details here, how the sector has reacted, what the people have said. All of this can be found here. Private firms to get access to ISRO Infra as well as data. That is another big story that they have reported separately. Rahul Gandhi backs direct cash transfer for poor, not package of loans. And there you can see a picture of Rahul Gandhi, Congress leader, who was interacting with migrant workers in the national capital on Saturday. That's another story that you can find here. And apart from this, there you have it, realty reset. This is a complete analysis of how pandemic has changed the realty sector and what you can expect once things start becoming normal. Apart from this, magisterial warn, 2 laws invoked to battle the pandemic have vested enormous and unusual powers with the district magistrates. How district magistrates are now making a lot of decisions. That's another story here. Troubled harvest. The mismatch of demand and supply in factor markets such as labor as well as for the final produce have made this a bitter season for farmers. The government's measures would help eventually. So the government had also announced measures for the rural sector, and here this is a complete analysis of how it is going to have an impact on the lives of farmers. And then there is an interview with the Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar as well that you can find. Special cell is ensuring hassle-free movement of perishables across India. This is what he has said, and you can find the entire interview here. Like this, there are very interesting articles that you can find on the Economic Times magazine. But let's now get you the latest as far as the Delhi edition of the Times of India is concerned. My colleague Kangana is now joining us on the broadcast for more on this. Kangana, good morning. So in Delhi, while we have seen a lot of people getting recovered, over 400 for 2 consecutive days, 438 more cases were also reported.
Well, of course, Ina, first of all, good morning to you and to our viewers also. And second, the cases are increasing. That's the sad fact that we are noticing every single day, that there has been a spike of approximately 433 cases in the last 24 hours. That's the number that the official health ministry had released yesterday. So the total number of cases in Delhi have now reached to 9,333, with approximately 80 containment zones in Delhi. So it will be an interesting fact to notice that what will happen in lockdown 4.0, which was going to start from tomorrow, 18th of May, when the containment zones might rise because of the number of cases that have been reported in New Delhi, and what are the kind of relaxations that will be given in these containment zones.
And I appreciate you joining us with all of those details. We are now moving on to the Mumbai edition of the Times of India, and today on the front page, apart from what the government has announced yesterday about 8 key sectors, the Mumbai edition is reporting how BMC has now taken control of all ICUs, 80% other beds in private hospitals. That's the big story that we have here. 33-year-old is Maharashtra's 10th cop casualty. Another news that's being reported, and junior doctors off cut from 7 to 2 days. How now there is a shortage of medical professionals as well, hence these kind of measures are being taken. Then another story that we have here is that Maharashtra gets central forces, some from Jammu and Kashmir. Responding to Chief Minister Uddhav Thakure's request for manpower, the Union Home Ministry has sent 9 companies of Central Armed Police Forces for deployment in Maharashtra. Apart from this, new one-day record in deaths for Maharashtra and for Mumbai, 41. Now cases are doubling in Mumbai in 13 days, which is a cause of concern right now. And Maharashtra is the COVID, we can say, capital of the country, because it has got maximum number of corona cases. Kajal Iyer, my colleague, is joining us on the broadcast. Kajal, good morning. Today, the Mumbai edition of Times of India is reporting that BMC has been advised to take control of the ICUs and other hospital beds, especially in private hospitals.
Yes, the hospitals in Mumbai are almost filled up to the brim. That is the government facilities. They are filled up to the brim with COVID patients and other patients. And for a long time now, at least for 2 weeks now, the government has been negotiating with private hospitals, asking them to either admit people under the Mahatma Jyotiba Phule insurance scheme and at nominal rates, or to hand over some of the beds to the BMC. So far, there has been a lot of resistance from the private players, saying that it will affect their margins. And there was a lot of back and forth going on. We are being told that on Monday, there is going to be another meeting with the state government and these private hospital representatives. The argument of the government is that given the fact that most of these are run by private charitable trusts, and the land and taxation benefits have been given by the government to these private charitable institutions, and that they have a lot of reserves with them, and which is why they should be helping the government in this time of need. And also under the Epidemics Act, the government can take over such institutions.
All right. Thank you very much, Kajal, for the moment, for joining us with all of those details. We are now moving on to the Bengaluru edition of the Times of India. And here, firstly, we have how the number of cases are rising here as well in Karnataka, with 533 cases. 50% of state's tally is in North Karnataka. And apart from this, Azim Premji has said that give 7,000 rupees cash to the poor for next 3 months. Even as the government is announcing stimulus initiatives for various sectors, industry leaders have sought more fiscal measures in the form of cash rolls. Tech czar Azim Premji asking for 7,000 rupees to be paid to the poor for the next 3 months. Let me go across to my colleague Deepak Bopanna joining us on the broadcast. Deepak, good morning. So now it seems that it is North Karnataka which is a big cause of concern. More cases are from that side.
Yes, there has been quite a trend in the last week or so where, especially people who are traveling in from neighboring states have been bringing in the virus. And that's why we are looking at a spike in North Karnataka because most of the people are interstate travelers, especially those coming in from Maharashtra. Maharashtra, of course, is seeing a huge surge. There were several migrant laborers from North Karnataka working in Maharashtra. Now they're coming back. Fortunately, most of them, of course, are being in institutional quarantine. The government is being able to identify who they are, test them, and now most of the cases coming up from there.
All right. Thank you very much, Deepak, for the moment for joining us with all of those details. We're now moving on to the Chennai edition of the Times of India. And here the big story is that how experts differ over number of tests. Tamil Nadu records 477 new cases and 3 deaths. That's something there that you can find on the front page only. Tamil Nadu has reported 477 new COVID cases and 939 patients were discharged from hospitals on Saturday, while the state's public health authorities remained divided on whether enough people were being tested for infection or not. Let me go across to my colleague Shilpa joining us on the broadcast. Shilpa, good morning. Now, yesterday the number of patients recovered were the highest so far, 939, but experts believe that perhaps more testing is the need of the hour.
Well, that's right, Hina. In fact, for the last 2-3 days, Tamil Nadu has not been testing enough as compared to, times when the state was testing around 13,000 samples a day. Yesterday, it was 9,000, around 9,000 samples that were tested for COVID-19. So many are, of course, saying that this is the time to test more, and the state government should take proactive measures to make sure that they test more and more people and not reduce the number of tests that are carried out, because that could be detrimental in identifying the virus and curing it and stopping its spread. But one good news, of course, is that 939 COVID-19 patients were discharged from hospitals all across Tamil Nadu just yesterday. This is the highest number of patients that have been discharged, in one single day in the state. This could also be because the ICMR has now tweaked the discharge guidelines. So probably because of that, you're seeing a high number of patients being discharged as well. But just to brief you about what happened, there are 477 new cases of coronavirus in Tamil Nadu, taking the total to 10,585, and 93 people who came from Bangladesh and other states in the country, such as Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, have tested positive, and that is, of course, a next big challenge for the state government. People coming from other states.
All right, Shilpa, appreciate you joining us with all of those details. We are now moving on to the Kolkata edition of the Times of India. And finally, there is some good news here as well. City finally on one-day list. First flight from Dhaka on Monday. That's reported on the front page only a day after the state government questioned as to why centre was not allotting repatriation flights to Kolkata under Vande Bharat mission so that citizens from Bengal stranded overseas could return as well. The Civil Aviation Ministry announced the first flight between Kolkata and Dhaka on Monday. So the first flight is going to be on 18th of May. Route is Kolkata, Dhaka, Kolkata. Airline will be operating this flight just like many other special flights that are being operated under Vande Bharat mission. And there are going to be about 169 passengers on both flights. Shreyasi, my colleague, is now joining us on the broadcast. Shreyasi, I want to talk to you about the landfall of the cyclone that is expected on 20th of May. We are being told that about 7 lakh people in Odisha could be hit. What kind of arrangements, precautionary measures are in place there?
Well, Hina, the IMD has not been able to say where exactly will the landfall be, but of course the depression that was there on South Bay of Bengal has now developed into a cyclonic storm, and it's approaching. And it's an impending cyclone called Amphan, the name that has been given as per the regulations, and this will be making landfall around the 20th of May. Yesterday, of course, Odisha Chief Minister held a review meeting because Odisha's coastal areas, around 12 districts along the coast of Odisha, are likely to be affected due to this cyclone. They have already spoken to the centre. They have also urged the centre, Hina, to suspend the Shramik expresses that are coming into Odisha for the next 3 days till the cyclone warning is over. But of course, Odisha taking all measures along with West Bengal, which is also going to be affected due to the cyclone, where both the state governments will be ensuring that there will be zero casualty in this natural calamity that could be hitting the land around the 20th of May.
All right, and also Shresi, like we've been discussing in last couple of days, that how West Bengal was very happy because there's no flight under Vande Bharat mission to Kolkata, but now the Kolkata edition is reporting that city is finally on the Vande list. Some relief for the people there?
Well, of course, there was a political war of words that broke out between the BJP, TMC, and of course the MEA also responding, saying that the second phase of Vande Bharat mission does not have a flight to Kolkata, despite the fact the West Bengal government has given its nod. This is after international flights were resumed for evacuation of Indian citizens in other states. Now on Monday, around 160 Indians stranded in Bangladesh will be returning here in Kolkata. The Home Secretary yesterday, during a press conference, briefed that all of them will have to undergo compulsory 14-day quarantine, either in government institutions, which will be for free, or at paid hotels, which the government has shortlisted
Right.
for quarantine. So, of course, the first flight coming to Kolkata tomorrow.
All right. Thank you very much, Shresi, for the moment, for joining us with all of those details. We're now moving on to what the viewers can find today as far as news from the world is concerned from Times Global. And here the big focus is how amid anti-immigration cry, Trump lauds theses. Many Indian American scientists working to develop COVID-19 vaccine, says US President. That's something that you can find here. And then this is the complete tally of how coronavirus has impacted the world. 188 countries have been affected. United States having about 14,56,029 cases with about 88,211 deaths. At number 2, it's Russia, then United Kingdom, Spain, Italy, Brazil, France, Germany, Turkey, and then Iran. In total, in the world, there are 45,99,738 corona cases. And then pizzas and haircuts back on Italy's menu. Some relaxation has come in Italy, and this is an update on that one. Anti-curb protest held in Poland, in UK. About Canada, there is an update as well. Canada relaxes work rules for international students. That's the news that you can find here. International students enrolled in Canadian institutions can begin their courses online and still be eligible for 3-year postgraduate work program after coming to the country once things become normal there. No exceptions. New Zealand Prime Minister turned away by cafe over virus rules. That's another story that has been reported here. Let's now focus on the world of sports, and my colleague Karishma will be joining us in just a bit. Meanwhile, let's bring to you about what is reported here. It's business as usual in unusual world, as action in Bundesliga has resumed, and there you can see the image as well. Players starting the game from Saturday onwards. Then Pakistan to play England in July in biosecure environment. Another news being reported. Bangladesh only place where we don't get any support. This is what Rohit Sharma has said. And this is something that you can find as far as the world of sports is concerned. And before we get to the latest from the world of entertainment, there's another thing that I want to highlight for you here. And this is the article Swaminanomics, written by Swaminathan Iyer. The speech Modi has not made but should. Something that you will like to read this Sunday. And this is quite interesting. And this is about the financial package that has been announced, an analysis of what should have happened and what actually has happened. Moving on now to the latest we are getting for you as far as the Delhi Times page is concerned of the Times of India. So this is what you can find here. People, celebs specifically, are cooking very different things and putting the pictures on social media. And today it's about Tamanna, who's cooking traditional food, speaking Sindhi in lockdown. And this is quite interesting. Designers have started opening factories. They've also prepared to reopen their stores, but it's going to be with limited staff, sanitization, and at the same time on appointment basis only. And apart from this, there you can see that how a web series the latest update that has come, and how after the lockdown gives you relaxations, how the shooting of various films and series is going to be much different, and all that you can find here. With this, it's a wrap. Thank you very much for staying with us here on the Newspaper Show.